Hello everyone, this is second video for lecture 2, the environment of public management. This lecture will focus on political frame. You will learn how to play political games as public manager. So let's get started. In the last lecture, we learned what publicness is, and I explained publicness can be measured by 3 dimensions. The first dimension is public ownership. Public owners are citizens and representatives of citizens, politicians. The second dimension is public funding. This means that organizations are funded by individual taxpayers rather than specific customers. The third dimension is political control. If an organization is affected by government decision-making, that organization holds a certain degree of publicness. And further, higher degrees of all the 3 dimensions like this will bring the following characteristics to the environment of organizations. Effects of such diffuse ownership, the lack of market mechanism, and collective decision-making will increase risks for conflicts of interest. And many scholars identify this effect of publicness as the worst one among many. So to manage public organizations, we cannot avoid issues of conflict called politics. In the following slides, we'll learn what political game is like and how to manage that as a public manager. To reflect our interest on organizational decision-making, we need a certain degree of power. So we can see conflict of interest as struggles over power, because if one leader in an organization can convince others to go for one direction, that organization won't have conflict. Pfeffer defines power in managerial context. We'll follow his definition, simply saying person or group A has power over B means that A causes B to behave in a way that B does not behave by itself. For instance, I have power over you as the instructor. I cause you to write comments on the discussion board that you would not do that by yourself. Another example, if Taylor Swift comes to like me, I know it's never going to happen. I cause her to write her song for me that she would not do that by herself. This means that I have power over Taylor Swift due to her affection to me. Sounds good. Anyway, please try to fully understand this definition. You'll have an exam question for this. On one hand, Lowy argues that constitutionally, public officials do not have power while they have administrative discretion. My question is whether this statement is applicable to management. We'll discuss this on the discussion board. Power is a multifaceted concept. Power has negative and positive aspects. Personal power used for personal gain is negative for organizations. The worst examples are sexual harassment and corruption. On the other hand, social power, such as leadership, used to create others' motivation or to accomplish group goals, is positive for organizations. Of course, this course aims to enhance your positive aspect of power. In addition, power is executable at different levels. In public organizations, we can find at least 3 levels of power: social, organizational, and interpersonal. Execution of power cannot be fully separate at each level. Rather, different levels of power interact with each other. For instance, power of public managers over field workers will affect power of policy implementation over society. This means that public managers should be sensitive about power relationship. Everybody wants power at a certain degree in different contexts. But what is social power? There have been many and different classifications of power sources. Here I just listed the 6 types in the managerial context. Until we become employer or head of agency, we cannot hold real-world, coercive, legitimate power. On one hand, we would be able to have referent, expert, and information power through individual efforts. In particular, I hope this course will help you increase your expert power. Overall, gaining the master degree can be seen as a way to increase your power. Now we've learned what power is, and then let's move to the main theme of this lecture, what politics is. Pfeffer defines politics as a process, actions, behaviors through which the potential power is utilized and realized. Further, he sees organization as coalitions rather than single unit. He argues that since organizations are coalitions of different participants with varying interests and preferences, the critical question becomes not how organizations should be designed to maximize efficiency, rather whose preferences and interests are to be served by the organization. Actually, this statement challenged the view of economists, which was prevalent in the 70s. Economists believe that people are rational and self-interested to maximize their profits. Therefore, people can design the most efficient structure of organizations in the process of pursuing their interest. However, Pfeffer maintains that organizations are complex and people conflict each other due to their different interests. In sum, understanding people and their politics will be more difficult and important for managers than knowing the most efficient structure of organizations. In the next video, we'll learn how to manage politics inside organizations as a public manager. See you there.